Good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning meditation. My name is Kat, and I'm here with Brian on behalf of Awakening Truth. We are so glad to be with you. It's such a joy to be here for monthly meditation. We'll do a short Dharma talk and then a meditation. And I just want to invite you into your body as we listen to the Dharma. Listening to Dharma for me is a sacred act. It's a way for us to open our hearts. And Ajahn Chah, one of the uh, great saints in Thailand, a Buddhist Theravadan monk, he said to many in his lineage at various times that as you're listening to my Dharma, don't listen with your mind. He said, listen with your heart, and whatever comes into your heart is what's right for right now. That's the right amount for you to receive. So often I will say, okay, let it be like rain, the Dharma. And then whatever goes in the gutter, goes in the gutter. Whatever absorbs, absorbs. Because sometimes when we talk about the heart, there might be some identification that keeps that goes down. Our subject today for our Dharma uh, is in the heart. So I'd like you to place your hand there, close your eyes for a moment. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. You can still put your hand on your heart. Whatever you're doing. But take a pause into this present moment and collect all the energies from the past, from the future. Any plans you have, bring them here into this moment so that as you receive the Dharma, you receive the most benefit by bringing all your energy, all your psychic energy, all the ways that the mind flows outward, bring it inward into this moment. Let it rest in the warmth of your palm, the feel of your skin, your fingers and palm on your chest. And as you feel that warmth, take a full breath in so that the belly expands with the heart. And just a gentle sigh out, an easy breath out. Breathing in slow, breathing out here now. And at any time as you're listening to the Dharma, you can say this to yourself and place a hand on your heart. We're going to read from Thich Nhat Hanh's book called The Sun, My Heart. And this is a section called A Bodhisattva Looks at All Beings with the Eyes of Compassion. And right now, with everything happening in the world, I don't know where you are, and I don't know your life circumstances, but I know that each of us experiences suffering, and we each experience the world's suffering in a different way. And we each experience the challenges and the chaos in a different way. And our focus today will be on this quality of the heart. The Buddha talked about 4 qualities of the heart. So when we read Thich Nhat Hanh's passage, compassion is karuna, and it's karuna. The word karuna is in Sanskrit. It's in the Pali language, the original palm leaf Buddhist language, and it's in Hindi. In all 3 languages, it's the same word, and I don't think that's a mistake. I think that's an understanding that we are all connected to this. So as you listen, you can come back to your heart and think about the connection you have with everyone else and their suffering as well. A bodhisattva looks at all beings with the eyes of compassion. Peace and compassion go hand in hand with understanding and non-discrimination. We choose one thing over another when we discriminate. With the eyes of compassion, we can look at all of living reality at once. A compassionate person sees themselves in every being. With the ability to view reality from many viewpoints, we can overcome all viewpoints and act compassionately in each situation. This is the highest meaning of the word reconciliation. Reconciliation does not mean to sign an agreement with duplicity and cruelty. Reconciliation opposes all forms of ambition without taking sides. Most of us want to take sides in each encounter or conflict. We distinguish right from wrong based on partial evidence gathered directly or by propaganda or hearsay, meaning someone else has told us. We need indignation in order to act, this deep desire, right? This will to act. But indignation alone is not enough. Even righteous, legitimate indignation, this will to act. Our world does not lack people willing to throw themselves into action. What we need are people who are capable of loving, of not taking sides, so that they can embrace the whole of reality as a mother hen embraces all her chicks with two fully spread wings. The practice of meditation on interdependent co-arising, the connection of all beings, is one way to arrive at this realization. When it is attained, discrimination vanishes, and reality is no longer sliced by the sword of conceptualization. The boundaries between good and evil are obliterated, and means and ends are recognized as the same. We have to continue to practice until we can see a child's body of skin and bones in Uganda or Ethiopia, any country in Africa, as our own. Until the hunger and pain in the bodies of all living species are our own, then we will have realized non-discrimination, real love. According to the Lotus Sutra, looking at all living beings with the eyes of compassion is a capacity of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. When we see someone who can look at all beings with the eyes of compassion, we know that Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is present in them. When we meditate on the first noble truth, the truth of suffering, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is present in us. When we ask a favor of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, he appears even before we ask. So placing a hand on your heart, coming back inside. As we listen to Thay's words, I want to share with you a couple other things that came to mind when I read this. The first is the quality of music. When we turn on a beautiful piece of music, there is a scale in music, and it has all these different notes, and many of us know these notes. There is an equilibrium that makes the harmony between the notes beautiful. And what is that? This is the co-arising, this co-interdependence of them all being connected. And if you look at the beautiful musical scale as a piece of geometry, I am an architect by trade, so I like to look at the world in terms of how it's built. Then you will see this beautiful sphere or star of 12 points, and all the scales and everything is within that. But what defines the energy of this beautiful musical range is this vector or directionality of equilibrium. And just like compassion is the same word in these different languages. It's the same feeling in all of our hearts. We know it. Just like the musical tone when it hits the harmony, we know it. We feel it. It's really hard to describe. It's very hard to describe that experience of so much joy. I'm going to give you a couple esoteric geometric understandings around this. It's ultimately through the local and universal, so both what happens within us and outside us, universal fields of energy, waveform energy, and the way they interact. So, right, when these scale notes interact in a certain way, that the appearance of the physical world arises. So we know this because we identify with the concept that there is a sound, that there is a physical form, there's some sensation. So this experience of the harmony of us playing out, us being physical, physical beings, can be really difficult. I identify with this belief. I identify with this person or this nation, right? And this is what we're talking about. So how can this be that we don't necessarily want to identify? We want to not discriminate. How do we do what Ty's talking about? This is very difficult. This is very challenging. And when I think about listening to a beautiful piece of music, that's not challenging. So this is why I turn to music a lot when I turn to the Buddha's teachings. So I wanted to share with you how I connect the Buddha's teachings and this bodhisattva vow, which is a vow to serve others, right? Serve compassionately. And this comes from the Buddha's words. It's discourses from the Pali Canon, and I'm going to share with you. And it's a beautiful story about identifying, right? How do we create an understanding of non-discrimination? And it's called a lump of foam. On one occasion, the Blessed One, the Buddha, was dwelling at Ayodhya, on the bank of the river Ganges, Ayodhya. There the Blessed One addressed the monks. Suppose that this river Ganges was carrying along a great lump of foam. A man with good sight would inspect it, ponder it, and carefully investigate it, and it would appear to him to be void, hollow, insubstantial. For what substance could there be in a lump of foam? So too, monks, whatever kind of foam there is, whether past, future, or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near, a monk inspects it, ponders it, and carefully investigates it, and it appears void, hollow, insubstantial. So this teaching on the five aggregates is about physical form and going back to the music. This is a wave form, right? This is energies of form. And so I just want to focus on that one aggregate to hit this point home around compassion. Because if we cannot identify with anything in our physical form, if we go deep into that teaching, for me, I didn't want to listen to this teaching of the Buddha. And I want to share a story with you about how that played out for me. It was 2010, and I had just started sitting with Amatanasanti, um, the founder of Awakening Truth. And I was on a 10-day retreat. It was the sixth day of the retreat. It was very cold. I was in Texas, in Kaufman, Texas. And I remember going to the interviews. I didn't do interviews all week. I was like, oh, I'm okay. I started to have really intense physical sensations in the body, and I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. And the way they did interviews on that retreat is you would sit in a circle. And so there were six of us sitting up in that circle, and I mustered up all my courage. I'm a very shy person inherently. And I shared, I have this experience of it feels like a spider's crawling up my, And I was trying to describe how it felt because I didn't know how to describe it. I didn't have a lot of language for it. And it was all very new to be sitting this long in meditation, right? We have very early mornings on this kind of retreat, lots of meditation. And the lady said, "Do not speak this way." She stopped me and I was like, and it was the most challenging moment. And she said, "Never bring this up again." And I was like, "What?" And I was so hurt. I was so hurt. I was like, I'm never going to an interview on a retreat again, this group interview thing. I will only do one-on-one teacher interviews. So I never did a group interview again from that time. What is it? 16 years now. But here was the thing that I learned from that very challenging moment. I learned that what I did not receive was compassion. I did not feel connected to this teacher, and I did not feel connected to what was waking up in me and what my experience was. And I was very much identifying with my experience. So I was experiencing the opposite of love and of real love that Thai describes, and the opposite of compassion. And it wasn't until 5 years later that I sat again, same retreat, not in the same location, but same lineage, same 10-day retreat. And I learned from Amma and the Awakening Truth community about compassion. And one of the first teachings I learned from her was about the qualities of the heart. And so this time when I sat the 10-day retreat and I signed up for the interview, I offered myself listening. I offered myself non-discrimination. That teacher decided what was right or wrong to be shared, right? That teacher said it was not okay what I was sharing. But there was a great teaching in what they offered me, right? To not identify with the physical form, that aggregate of form, that there's nothing in it. There's no liberation in identifying with a physical sensation. That was a profound teaching that I still sit with to this day. And so the aggregate, this like lump of experience of being a physical body, right? Like there's so many studies about how we're just, electrons, and there's just space and in the elements of the body, right? This aggregate, there's nothing we can cling to in it. And that is painful to realize there's nothing steady in the physical form. There's nothing to hold on to, nothing to grasp. And so this was a very challenging teaching. So what do we do? Pick up this other book. It's a beautiful business book I use, Do Disrupt. We go and see this beautiful, what is this thing, right? It looks up at the sky and it reads space, right? This is what we need to do. We need to keep the radar on as far out from ourselves as possible, always. It says it's all about observation, right? And so when I become mindful of this teacher and what they shared and what I needed to receive, which was compassion, Thai's teachings, Amma's teachings, I take my earphones out, walk instead of take the subway, ride the bike instead of driving the car. Just any way that we change our observation of ourselves to understand how we're identifying with the moment, clinging to the physical experience, clinging to the belief. We can take this to any aggregate. And then all of a sudden, the chaos in the government, the chaos in the countries and the wars, the chaos in the communication can be something where we might not have the answer in the moment, but we can take our radar all the way out We can acknowledge that we all suffer, and we can be that mother hen that allows all the chicks in. Can we observe that far away, from that far away, that we're all allowed to be here? Is it possible for us to expand our hearts that wide, to have compassion, feel the pain and suffering of those inflicting pain and those, being inflicted upon? So the last piece I'll share, I've been talking a while, is about Jesus. And just like the word compassion threads through all traditions, one of the most important uh, beings on the planet is Jesus, right? And his teachings still live on today. But why is it that none of his apostles performed miracles? None of his apostles were known, even though Jesus's wish was to have multiple people, live out his teachings. Why is it? We all know that. And I wanted to share with you from another book. It's The Real Life and Teachings of Jesus Christ by Kaleshwar. And let's hear a little bit about compassion here. So he's carrying a physical body, right? We all know him for his crucifixion and his, non-discrimination and non-clinging to his body, Jesus, right? So even as he was being tortured, he still loved those who tortured him, right? He had this deep, non-discriminatory, real love, just like Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. They both experienced the same thing. They both experienced the eyes of compassion. So for us, we get a negative feeling or we get a negative thing in the news, and it throws a negative concept in us, and we identify and we discriminate, right? And it's right and it's wrong, and we take a side. We can't tolerate it. When Jesus's students were doing their spiritual practice, they were exhausted, really exhausted, right? He looked at their faces, gave them something to relax. But ultimately, what was the main reason that these students, he shared so much with them, he gave them so much, he gave them so much compassion. What was the defect? What delayed this experience of all those beings performing miracles? Was he not capable? Why? What happened to Jesus? We know he's a super being. Why is it taken so long? Why are they not preachers, channels, and demonstrating the miracles, right? So day by day, our spirituality is getting polluted. So we have a responsibility, each of us, to wake up the heart and eyes of compassion. Wake up, Avalokiteshvara. Wake up, Jesus, within us. We have the responsibility. This is the reason. This is what Buddha taught us. This is what Jesus taught us, to not discriminate, not cling to the body, not cling to Jesus, but be him. Not cling to Buddha, not cling to our body, but be them, be the heart quality. Right? This is the quality of compassion, karuna. And the last piece, there are 4 qualities of the heart the Buddha talked about. Karuna is one. I encourage you after this time, after listening to this meditation with Brian, listening to this talk, go investigate the 4 other heart qualities. Together, they create that harmony, that equilibrium that we talked about with the music. They allow us to integrate and live consciously, live from that higher observance. We can feel and experience all suffering with eyes of compassion, like the mother hen. So, thank you for listening, and may you feel this through your heart fully.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you, Kat. We're gonna do a meditation and really just allow that Dharma rain to soak in from that lovely Dharma talk. So just feel your seat, find posture that's good for you. And I'm going to invite the bell. I'm going to invite the bell 3 times. First, I wake up the bell, and then I'm going to invite the bell 3 times. They're full sounds of the bell. Listen to the beginning all the way to the end of the sound. So breathing in a long breath. Know you are breathing in a long breath. When breathing out a long breath, know you are breathing out a long breath. Just focusing on the breath, the sensation of the breath. Breath in and breath out. Just noticing the quality of our breath at this moment, how we are arriving at this moment, every moment arriving. Just feeling the full draw of the breath, filling the body, the full draw of the breath out. And just checking in with our bodies, feeling our groundedness with our seat, our hands resting, our feet, our torso, our shoulders, our neck. And take a moment to really focus on the heart space, center of compassion. Feel this heart space. This is our go-to for checking in with ourselves. How are we loving? How are we loving ourselves? How are we handling all the factors in the world and in our environment? Just checking in with this heart space, feeling our connection, our interbeingness. Really breathing in into that heart space, breathing out, allowing that heart space to grow and warm our bodies. Breathing into that heart space, relaxing the body, breathing out, relaxing the body, and growing that heart space. Just feeling the relaxation of our whole body, the space our body occupies. And in that space is our heart, the center of compassion. As we sit in this meditation, I invite you to any thought that comes up, feel it through the filter of our heart space with non-discrimination, just welcoming it in and warming it with our heart space. Just like the music tones, the dissonance, and the melodic sounds all come together, how the colors of art all come together as one piece. Our interbeingness, all beings connected. And in this heart space, we all speak the same language, just like the word for compassion is the same in three of our main languages. Our heart's language is universal. So breathing into that heart space, breathing out, expanding that heart space. Allow that warmth of our love first bathe us with self-compassion and self-love in a quiet, warm way. Breathing into that warmth of our love. Breathing out, expanding that warmth all the way to our toes, to our hands. Just settling into that sensation of this bathing in this heart space throughout our whole body. Bringing self-compassion and understanding to our own experience and our own existence, constantly refining. Breathing in, breathing out, expanding that warmth glow throughout our body, expanding that to fill the room that we are in or the space that we are in. Expanding it, Father, to include our community. First, looking at the people we are close to and we love, feeling our interconnectedness, feeling how the notes are playing out, whether there's discord or harmony, and knowing that we share this suffering, our suffering, their suffering, our shared human experience interconnects us. We bring understanding to our own suffering, bring understanding to others' suffering, the best that we can. We do that by focusing on the center of this heart space, feeling like the mother hen, taking all in our environment in and being okay with it, however it appears. It's equanimity. becoming an island unto ourselves, refuge in ourselves, refuge in our love and our interbeingness. Expanding this space, this heart space, this glow, to experience our whole nation that we are in, wherever nation you are in. Expanding it out to all the whole earth, our planet. Just sitting with all the discord, sitting with all the harmony, all beings. We belong here. They belong here. All the plants, all the animals. We share this space. Just resting in this space, sending out our love for ourselves and all. Coming back to feeling our feet and our seat and our hands, feeling ourselves centered. Just notice any shifts that have taken place in our bodies with our Dharma talk that we heard and the meditation. It's like Dharma rain. Whatever comes in is right for us at this moment. This is what we hear. This is what we tune into, constantly polishing. I'm going to wake up the bell and invite it 2 times as we slowly come back. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.